This week is tournament time for Ohio High School girls varsity basketball. This is the 10th season for the Northern 10 Athletic Conference, and all N10 teams are ready to represent. The Cary Blue Devils enter the tournament with a 19-3 record and is this year's N10 champions. The team carries a #1 seed in the Fostoria District in Division 4. And on February 8th, the Blue Devils got a taste of the potential district final as they hosted the district's #2 seed, the Arcadia Redskins of the Blanchard Valley Conference. Arcadia jumped on Cary early, but the Blue Devils turned the tables, displaying a multi-pronged scoring barrage, and wound up winning in a rout, 61-37. Junior guard Rachel Reinhardt led Cary on this night with 16 points.
Tonight I just felt good, and my teammates kept finding me whenever I was open, so I got a lot of good shots.
Senior post Kinley Phillips, the team's scoring leader on the season, poured in 15 points.
This just shows our bracket that we're here to play, and I think like this game specifically, since they are in our division, that this shows that we're ready to play anybody and that we won't take anyone lightly, so we come to play hard.
Phillips helps to fortify a senior class that includes starters Ella Klinger, Kelsey Bursby, and Cary's most experienced varsity member, Riley Rao, the last remaining active player from the era of Phil Vaughn, who coached at Cary for 28 years, including 13 as girls head coach. Keith O'Flaherty in his 3rd season as head coach has a staff including Zach Boehm, Amy Puckett, and former player Sydney Nordheig, the starting point guard for Cary's most recent championship team prior to this year in 2016.
Any night, anyone can beat anybody, so we need to be ready to come out, because if we come out and don't play our best and they play their best, anything can happen.
It's a championship message that remains in fashion for this year's squad as well.
Anyone can be here to play, so we can't go into any game being like, oh, we're going to win. Like, we have to go in with confidence, but we have to understand that teams also are going to give us a run, and they're going to work hard because everyone wants to win. So we have to know that everyone's a competition and that we have to work hard for what we want.
Cary gets the first round bye before hosting either New Regal or Hopewell Loudon. The Mohawk Warriors are in the same Northwest 2 district in Division 4. Natasha Mulholland is in her 1st season as head coach, assisted by veteran Rodney Gilliland, along with Jessica Fredericks and JV leader Bo Trusty. In the February 15th trip to Bucyrus, the Warriors came up with their highest scoring game of the season and a 66-39 win, helping to fuel Mohawk's confidence heading into tournament play.
Any night that we can hit our 3-point shots, it's usually a good night. It's a good confidence boost to start the game off. It's very helpful, especially as we're in the later half of the season. And we've been switching up our defense and working on more stuff to really figure out what works best for us.
AJ Chevalier is part of a 4-member senior class that includes Gracie Klaus, who has thrived in her 1st season as a starter, Josie Granada, the team's scoring leader, and Mia Miller, the top rebounder in the N10, 11.5 per game, who also led the conference this season in shot blocks, 1.5 per game. Miller has the most varsity experience on this squad and has continually pushed for a culture of positivity, an ideal she shared with us back during her sophomore campaign.
I mean, we've been doing pretty well as it is, but just to have that awesome energy throughout the whole game until the end of the 4th quarter would be amazing.
After the graduation of more than a dozen former teammates and the departure of Bruce Hannum, head coach for her first 3 seasons, this final postseason for Miller will offer some newness, including the upcoming tournament opponent, as Miller and the other seniors will be playing against either Tiffin Calvert or Van Loo for the first time in their varsity basketball careers. 4 N10 teams find themselves in the same Division 3 Shelby district, known officially as Northwest 1, Bucyrus, Colonel Crawford, Whitford, and Upper Sandusky. The Upper Sandusky Rams feature N10 first-teamer Grace Walton, who's been dazzling local fans for 3 seasons, and this season led the N10 in points, assists, and steals. Walton leads a strong junior class including Hope Morris, Brookfin Scully, Ellie Ham, and veteran starting backcourt mate Addie Newman. Head coach Jerry Vent has praised the leadership of senior reserve guard Bailey Fox, and over the course of the season, he has elevated sophomore post Madison Hart to the starting unit. This is season number 6 for Vent at the helm, with a staff including Jacob Walton, Jevin Dybel, Willie Vent, and former player Grace Vent, a 4-year starter who played alongside Walton and Newman when they were freshmen. This year, the Rams get a first-round bye before hosting either Willard or Edison, and Walton is looking forward to playing before the home fans one last time this season.
Oh, our community is really supportive of our team. It's great. I mean, like, we do have a lot of people go to our games, and it's just, I don't know, it's a good atmosphere, and it's really exciting, and I don't know, I've always really appreciated that about Upper.
If the Rams advance, it is likely that they next will face the Margaretta Polar Bears out of the SBC, the district's #1 seed. The district's #2 seed is the N10 second-place team, Colonel Crawford. The Eagles jumped out to a phenomenal start to the season at 16-1, with the only loss to the Winford Royals. But as the season wore on, injuries took their toll, including the sophomore guard Ella Agee, junior guard Carly Zender, and the starting senior guard Ayla McKibben. This led to an opening in the starting lineup for sophomore Lexi Duray, and at times for senior Lexi Rush, who could relate to injury challenges, having missed significant time herself when she was a sophomore member of the Gallion Tigers. On February 10th, Rush and the Eagles found themselves mired in a 3-game losing streak, and at the home of Winford, a challenging venue for Crawford in years past, and the place where the Eagles were eliminated from the tournament by the Royals 1 season ago. On this day, after a slow start, the Eagles got to work and got their payback with a hard-fought 39-27 win.
Yeah, I think we've been ready for this win since that night. You know, we've kind of had some adversity recently, a couple games where we were just off and not playing as a team. So to be able to come together and get a good win, and it starts on the defensive end, and that's really where it was tonight till the end. So it's a good win for us.
It feels good. We celebrated in the locker room, and that was the best. Once the clock went off, it was amazing. It felt so good to finally get that revenge back that we've been practicing for.
The N10 is very, very tough. You can't take a day off, you know? So it's always about pushing through, and our team was able to come back from a little bit of a rough patch, but we had each other's back, and we knew that we could do it. So
they're a real resilient team, and they've been very receptive to some of the changes we made this week in practice. And the important thing is that they trust that process and they trust each other, and that showed tonight when we get down 10-3. They didn't. You never saw the deer in the headlights look, and there's no panic. It was just next possession and one possession at a time, and that's the beauty of our team.
Zach Bauer, in his second season, after taking over for the retired Kyle Finner, leads a staff that includes Jordan Shell, Sarah Frazier, and Jenna Matty, who brings her experience as a former player to the sidelines of the varsity and the JV. Colonel Crawford gets a first-round bye before facing either Bucyrus or Winford. The Winford Royals also had a strong start to the season at 10-2, but the team wound up dropping 6 of their final 10 games. The change in fortunes in this case seemingly had more to do with youthful fatigue than any significant injuries.
It was pretty good the first half. You know, it's a long season for freshmen to go from 16 games to 20, at least 23. So, but you know, we're trying to stay positive. Again, everybody's working really hard. You know, we've lost our games by an average of 5 points, and so even with all of our losses, we've still been close and need to work a little bit more on clock management and execution, but I think everybody's all in and giving a great effort.
Winford's youngins include freshman starting shooting guard Caroline Sheldon, who made the most threes in the N10 during the regular season with 70. And starting freshman post Brooke Frombaugh, the N10's #2 rebounder, averaging 11 boards per game. And starting sophomore point guard Meredith Engler, the team's assist leader. The youngsters have been guided by seniors Zoe Whitmire and Kenna Caldwell, and led by head coach Amy Taylor Sheldon in her 28th season, assisted by Michael Hurls, Chad Garbrick, and Buzz Coker. Winford is the host of the opening round matchup versus Bucyrus.
Really excited with how the season went. You know, the wins aren't as many as we wish we had, but the fight and the competitive effort that the girls have shown so far in every game this season has been there, and that's what we're really striving to have.
The Lady Red Squad plans to bring toughness and drive to the postseason, led by head coach Brian Siebert in his 3rd season and assisted by Mike Middleton and Bart Dennison. Senior Brooke Dennison, in her 2nd and final season with Bucyrus after transferring from Northmore, this season became the N10's #2 scorer, behind Upper's Walton, and leads her team in assists, steals, and tying Mohawk's Miller for the most shot blocks in the N10. She's aiming for a tournament run.
It's going to take a lot of just staying with the communication, keeping up with, you know, ball handling and shooting, knowing our plays, staying together as a team, but the main thing is wanting to win, and like keeping that the top priority is wanting to win as a team and go as far as we can to just keep playing together while our seniors can.
Denison is one of 5 seniors with Kendra Blizzard, Adria Taylor, Addison Ricker, and Addison Kimmery. Kimmery, like Denison, started her high school career elsewhere, in her case, Colonel Crawford. It was at a time when Siebert was still a game official. But after moving to Bucyrus, got injured, with her future in the game unclear.
I actually tore my ACL before my junior year, so that really pushed me that I had to work even harder to get back, because I actually got cleared 2 days before the first game of my junior year. So going through an injury like that really shows like how much work you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So I always make sure to put up extra shots. If a drill's over and everyone else is standing around, I make sure me and Brooke are putting up those extra shots just to get a little more work in.
They'll seek to play their best game in the opening round at Winford. The 2 programs with the most recent N10 championships prior to this year are Seneca East and Buckeye Central. The Seneca East Tigers, who won the N10 in 2019 and 2020, have been working through a rebuild. And senior Caroline Kagi, who remembers the Tigers' glory days playing alongside the likes of 2-time conference MVP Jessica Bowerman, has happily participated in the process of program improvement.
I think what we need to focus on is just working as hard as we possibly can. You know, there's going to be good teams in the tournament, and I think the best thing we can do is just work hard and give every game everything that we've got. It's been amazing. I'm super grateful for all my time that I've gotten to play basketball here, all my teammates, all my coaches. I've loved every minute of it, so I'm just grateful that I got to do it.
Kagi is one of 2 seniors, along with veteran Morgan Cornwell. George Parks is in his 2nd season leading the program, taking over for former N10 Coach of the Year Don Vogt, and Parks' staff includes Jeremy Cornwell, Ashton Bowerman, Haley Carrick, and Erica Waltog. The Tigers host Crestline in the opening round in the Division IV Northwest 1 district. In the same district is Buckeye Central, winners of the N10 title in 3 straight seasons prior to this year. The Buckheads took the court this season after the graduation of the entire starting lineup, including last year's conference MVP Riley Conser, the 3rd of 3 straight for BC, following Claudia Pfeiffer in 2021 and Emily Cecil in 2022. Former boys varsity head coach Phil Loy took over after the departure of Abram Capel, who joined the women's basketball coaching staff at Tiffin University. On Loy's staff are Tyler Shade and Terry Oswald. The Buckettes have improved over the course of the season, with junior guard Nevaeh Metzger, the team's leading scorer, and with surging contributions from seniors Allison Wright and Ella Evac, juniors Mara McDougall and Grace Colleen, and sophomores Macy Deppen, Elise Seifert, and Ella Colleen. Buckeye Central gets a first-round bye before facing either Lucas or the district's number 1 seed, Lakeside Danbury. For tournament games and N10 updates, we'll have you covered throughout the postseason on Magic 95.9 and iHeartRadio.